What's up everybody, this is Boywithafishtank and today I'm bringing you a new episode which is Aquarium Q&A. You guys have been asking some questions on my YouTube channel. In the comment section you have been asking some questions in my email at boywithafishtank@gmail.com, and I got quite a lot of questions, actually more than I expected, so this is going to be a little bit more longer episode than I was thinking. But I got all the questions right here on my phone, you see right here. So I'm going to read them up and answer them all. So let's get to the YouTube questions. So the first question comes from Ronald Biswas, who asks, I have a question. I'm from Bangladesh. Aquarium plant fertilizer is not available in our country. Is there any way I can make the fertilizer myself? Well, making fertilization for plants yourself is not something I really would recommend because it can be very dangerous. I have heard of people doing it, but they usually have a sort of idea in chemistry or something like that, so they know what they're doing. But for someone who doesn't really know a lot about chemistry, I would not recommend it. But what you can do is that you can actually get dirt, and you can kind of use dirt as a fertilizer. I'm not a big fan of dirt, to be honest, but what you can do is find some dirt in your area, buy it from a garden shop or something like that. But make sure that it's not, sprayed with poison or any types of poisonous things, because that, chemicals also, because that might actually hurt your fish and things like that. There's a lot of steps on, setting up a dirty tank as well, and you have to follow some of those pretty much like all the time. You usually have to have a substrate above the dirt so that it won't just be all dirt, the substrate, because if that is going to happen, your tank water will be very, very cloudy, also very easily. But you can use dirt. A lot of people have done it out there. I'm sure you can get some nice tips from people who have done it out there. I know there are many YouTubers who have done it. I haven't tried it myself, but I don't really want to be honest. But as I told you, there are some people on YouTube that can give you some tips on how to set up a dirted planet tank, but it definitely works really well. So the next question comes from Astro the Ultimate, and he asks, will you ever be upgrading your saltwater tank? Yes, I'm definitely going to upgrade my saltwater tank at some point, but it will first be in many years, because at the age I'm at now, I don't really have the money to actually upgrade it. So it's going to be way too expensive for me, but I would really like to upgrade it to a very big tank at some point, but that will probably be when I'm an adult. For now I like keeping the nano tank because I can't really afford anymore, so that's basically why I got a nano tank as well. But I will definitely be upgrading my tank at some point, like no doubts about that. I'll be upgrading a lot of tanks at some point. So the next question comes from Fowler for now, and he asks, I got a question, what other pets do you keep? Keep them coming. Okay, so the pets that I keep is basically cats and fish, I also got some frogs, you guys know those little guys, but I also got cats, and I'm going to show you these guys right here in a second, so just wait a little bit guys, I'll show you them right here. Alright, so this guy right here is Buller. That sounds really stupid in English, but it's called Buller in Danish. He's really cute, as you guys can see. He's probably he is the youngest cat we have. We got him pretty recently, so he's kind of cute. Look at this guy. He loves to sit with me and stuff like that. He's just very chill, right? He loves to be in my room for some reason. I just love cats. Oh my god. Alright, so this right here is Rosa. She doesn't really like to sit with me, I guess that's what you say. But she is really nice. She's a sacred Burman, so she's not a normal domestic house cat. She's actually a breed of cats. Really beautiful breed. You can see she has blue eyes. Look at that. But she doesn't want to sit with me anymore, so I gotta let her go. So this right here is Ludwig. That's how you say it in Danish. I don't know how you would pronounce it in English actually. But he looks pretty similar to Buller, as you can see. He's black and white. He's also a domestic house cat. He's the oldest cat we have. He's a little over 11 years old, so I'm 4 years older than him, so that's pretty crazy. So he's almost as old as me. He's just a really cute cat. Look at this guy. So this guy right here is Hampus. I don't know how you would say that in English either. But he's a sacred Burman cat as well. You can see he has very long hair, blue eyes, if you can see that right here. Blue eyes. Look at the camera, look at the camera. He doesn't understand English, but he's really cute, you know, like all the other cats. Like, he will just lay as you want to. He's just pretty calm. He's a really calm cat actually. Very peaceful actually. So yeah, so here we have Albert. He doesn't want to sit with me right here. But this is Albert. We also call him the bully cat. In Danish it sounds pretty stupid for you guys. But he's also a sacred Burman cat. See the blue eyes and the white coat. He's just a really nice cat. Really beautiful as well. But he's probably the biggest of our cats. He's really huge actually. Can you stop staring at me? But anyway, so there's one more cat left and I'll see if I can find her, but she hides most of the time, so that will be quite hard to have her in front of the camera. So this is my cat Laura. She's really scared right now. But she's really beautiful as well. She got some really nice green eyes. But she's pretty afraid right now. She doesn't really like to sit with people. She's generally a very skittish cat actually. She likes to hide a lot. But she's my cat, so I love her. Right? But they sure do love my face, all of these cats. That is for sure. So now she wants to go down, so go at them, Bula! Go at them! Kill them! Kill them, Bula! Bula! Alright, so next question is from Morris McCummy. And he asks, my question is, how long should I leave my female ciglet in my fry tank after she spits her fry? I have my first holding female ciglet. Alright, so what I know from experience, you know, these little guys right here are actually ciglets that I've bred myself. And what I can say myself is that when your female spits her fry out, you should just take her out immediately, because some unexperienced ciglet mothers will actually eat their own fry, which is kind of scary, but they will do that. So just take her out after she has spit them out and put her back in the main tank and feed her well, because often when ciglets hold, a lot of female ciglets are actually not able to feed because they're holding all the fry and eggs in their mouth, so that they don't really have the room to actually swallow any food. So she's probably very hungry, so you have to put it in here to get her, give her some good nutrition. That is really the only sort of tips that I can give you. And good luck with the fry, man. They are just awesome to watch grow and things like that. They are really cool. I love ciglet fry. So next question comes from Ronnie West, who asks, hi, what's your favorite type of Synodontis? To be honest, I think it's called Bedfish. Bedfish is not normally recognized as a Synodontis, but it's actually a Synodontis. But however, my own Synodontis right here, I really like those. That is a Synodontis Rebelli. Really like that type of Synodontis. It has like these, like a gray body with white fins. It's a really beautiful, you know, Synodontis. Or is that the Synodontis SP hybrid? I can't remember, but it's a really cool Synodontis. I really like it. I think you know what it is when I show this clip right here. There you go. That Synodontis right there is just awesome. I really like that guy. One of my favorite Synodontis by far. They get really big as well. So the next questions come from Ronnie West again, who asks, what's your favorite African ciglet? My favorite is the Venustus. If I have to say what type of favorite African ciglet I like most, I think it's probably the Frontosa. You know, my Frontosa, where is he hiding? He's hiding somewhere. I think he's hiding down that cave right there. But I really like my Frontosa, he's just awesome. I really like Frontosa just generally. But I also really like Kenai cichlids. Where is he? He's hiding behind my chair right here. He's right there, that big yellow dude right there. He's probably one of my favorite cichlids. He's just really colorful, very awesome. But they're very aggressive, so you have to take that into consideration. So, alright, so I forgot a question actually. So just taking a video quickly with my phone here, since I've said everything, like the camera and things like that back. Like this is actually after the video, so whoa, that's crazy. This question is pretty easy to answer because not a lot of urchins actually needs coralline algae. But if you want to keep a blue tuxedo urchin, that is one of those like urchins that really needs coralline algae. They do eat other algae as well, but it's not as much as a coralline algae basically. But I know there are some urchins that doesn't really need all those coralline algae, but they don't really eat a lot of coralline algae. They eat a little bit, and that's pretty much it. But if you don't have any coralline algae in your tank, I would probably not recommend getting a blue tuxedo urchin, because that is going to be very hard to just feed it with seaweed every single day. But they do not feed that much. They don't eat that much basically. What I really can recommend is seeing if you can get an urchin that doesn't eat coralline algae. Go read on some different species of urchins. Urchins are really awesome. They can go together with big fish because they really don't want to bite in a spiky ball of death basically. So yeah, that's basically the answer to that question. So let's get further on to the next question. Next question comes from Chris Pelmer, who asks, isn't 20 gallons too small for a yellow tank? I think I've explained this 100 times now, but it's not too small for a tank. Yes, it is too small for a tank that is adult, but as long as you know what you're doing, you feed it well, you look at its behavior, see if it's doing well, and things like that, your tank will be healthy. Like if your tank is stressed, you'll be able to see it. Like it's so obvious if your fish are stressed. You can see it clearly. Like their gills will just like swallow up because it will just really just breathe really heavily or fast. That is also a sign of stress. Then they will swim differently, and they'll make like these starting sort of motions, which they shouldn't do. They should just like float through the water straight away. Like that's what a tank does when they're stressed. And if it doesn't eat, it's stressed as well. But this guy, he swims very normally, he eats well, pretty much he's just doing great. But when he gets bigger, he will go into a bigger tank. There's actually a local fish stall I have close to my city. They are just setting up a display tank right now that is 650 gallons, I think it is. And I asked them if I could trade the yellow tank for another fish when it gets bigger, and they said sure, you could do that. So that would be really nice, so that I could go to my local fish stall and actually see my yellow tank grow up right there. So that's kind of cool. But he will soon be out, like in a couple of months, I think, if not in a shorter time. But it's definitely something I'm going to I'm definitely going to get him away in my tank for in a very short time, and put him into another big tank. So let's go to the email questions. So the first question is, how is fish keeping in Denmark? Now, fish keeping in Denmark is, I actually think fish keeping is pretty common over here. Like, I know a lot of people that have, aquariums, like, just for fun, and there's a lot of people who have kept aquariums. But it's, like, the hobby is very expensive over here, actually. It's not as cheap as it is in the US, for example. I know I've looked at some of the prices just on the saltwater fish, in live aquarium, things like that, and the fish are just, and the invertebrates and corals are just extremely cheap, and there's such a big variety of different species, and we don't really have that right here in Denmark. But we do have a pretty good aquarium trade. I would say it's pretty good, at least. I have about 3 or 4, I actually have 4 fish stores near my area. One is north of my city, the 3 others are south from my city. Then there's a lot of others around the country, but Denmark is like the size of a peanut, so there's not really a lot of different stores, and it's not legal to ship live animals either, so I can't, like I couldn't order on a website like Live Aquarium for example and get it shipped to my home because it's not legal to send with the Danish post and ship live animals. That's simply just not legal. There's a lot of strict laws over here, but I can buy something from Germany and I might be lucky to actually get it up here, but that's quite a long trip. So the next question is, my claggies are very aggressive. Any tips on how to reduce it? Claggy clownfish are generally a pretty aggressive clownfish, but if they got an anemone, they're definitely a lot more aggressive because they'll defend their territory a lot more. And if they're breeding, they'll also, be, a lot more territorial and aggressive. But it's a very, I wouldn't say it's an aggressive clownfish. I would say it's more of a territorial. So it's only if they get into their territory that they can, they will get, the other fish will get nipped at. But they're really great to have in a really big tank because they grow bigger than most other clownfish do. They're really pretty as well. I really like claggy clownfish, they're just awesome. So the next one is, how are your African Dwarf Frogs doing? My African Dwarf Frogs are doing fantastic. Like, they're just swimming around, having a good time over in the tank over there. I'm going to give you a clip right here where you guys can see the little guys swimming around. They're really awesome. I really love them. That's probably my focal point in that tank. That is the African Dwarf Frogs. I really like them. I really like frogs in general. I think frogs are really cool. So the next question comes here, and it is, I would really like to get some tips on fish food. Which brand of fish food do you think works best and why? If I had to choose, I would probably say for marine tanks, I would say Fauna Marine. That is a really good brand. I use it for my saltwater tank. The fish love it. They get great coloration. They make some coral pellet food as well that the coral will just swallow up. Most corals will. And their food is just amazing. Really good quality. It will tell you what's in there. It's just a really good food. And I know that it was not in America for like 2 or 3 months ago. It first came there. It's a pretty new thing over there. It's basically a German company that makes it, and I had it a little longer before it actually arrived to the US. But it's definitely a really nice food, definitely. So the 5th email question and the last question of this Q&A is saltwater versus freshwater. Now this is a really hard question because I think that they're both really nice in their own way. Like, a lot of people will, like beginners who doesn't have any aquariums, or if they have just began, keeping aquariums, they'll probably say saltwater right away. But there's a lot of things there's a lot of pros and cons about saltwater. Like, saltwater is really cool. There's a lot of different species. It's nice to have like a little piece of the ocean in your home and things like that. But it's really expensive. Like, getting a huge saltwater tank that is just really crazily expensive. You just won't believe it. It's insane. And if you ask me, you should get the best equipment possible, the best food possible, the most healthy fish possible, the most nice corals possible. So that is going to be really expensive in the long run. So a saltwater tank is like really expensive. It's like like aquarium you just fill with money. It's insane. Like, it's really expensive. But there's a lot of cool things about saltwater. There's a lot of things to research. There's a lot of things to see, and there's a lot of different species that are really awesome. But in freshwater there are some bigger species of fish that might be easier to keep, that doesn't need as big of a tank. And in saltwater there might be a lot of big fish that need like a really huge saltwater tank because they're from the ocean basically. So I would say that I like both in both ways. Like, I like freshwater because it's easy, it's very beginner friendly. I really like the plants. I really like growing plants. I really like the different easy species. It's really nice to just have some fun sometimes. You can have a lot of fun with freshwater if you ask me. I really like cichlids, planet tanks, even brackish tanks, even though that is not saltwater or freshwater. I really like brackish tanks too, and I think they're kind of left out actually. I really want to see some more breakage tanks out there. I might set up one up myself because I really want to try it again. So I would really say that they have their both things, so I wouldn't really like take the one from the other. But if I had to go with like the beauty of the tank, I would probably say that saltwater is the most beautiful, definitely. Like, but it's really expensive. But I really love my saltwater tank. It's my pride and joy. You know, I really love my saltwater tank. It's awesome. But I really like freshwater tanks as well because they're really easy to keep. They're very awesome fish. You know, they have some cool behaviors. You know, they're easy to breed. There are plants. You know, things like that. So, yeah, I think if I had to choose, I'd probably go with saltwater. But as I said, like, it's not beginner friendly saltwater. It's very hard to keep and maintain even for some experienced aquarists. I really think that people should take that into consideration, so that they would like get a freshwater tank for like 1 or 2 years to learn some of the basic things about aquariums, and then they can go further on to saltwater and reef tanks and so on, because it requires quite a lot of experience. A lot of people make that mistake. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can say in this episode. There's not any more questions, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys like this Q&A series. If you do, please let me know in the comment section. If you got any other questions for the next Q&A episode, you can, you know, just post any questions on any of my videos and I'll put them on the Q&A if I want to. If you put it on this video, I will put it in the Q&A for sure. So yeah, that's basically all for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it and see you guys in another video.